So about the whole Jesus and the resurrection thing, there was a previous video that I talked about it in, and I'm just going to let that video roll through this. So this is in addition to my previous response.
From the fruit on the tree of knowledge.
If I bit the tree and got your knowledge, I would actually cry. So we're...
Okay, so why'd you have to take the shots at her, like, at the end of your video, dude? Like, so, like, apparently, like, this went out the window. Like, you know, your religion, you're supposed to treat people the way that you want to be treated. We're just ignoring that. Also, by the way, I was raised Roman Catholic, so whenever I do pull up Bible translations, I'm probably just going to pull up ones from the NABRE, the New American Bible Revised Edition. I already know there's like tons of Bibles out there, so many different translations. I'm just going to go with the NABRE. If you guys think this is a bad choice, then feel free to comment and tell me otherwise. But first, let me address the Adam and Eve story, because the way God treated Adam and Eve was like really manipulative. I said that word wrong 100%. But the way he treated them was really manipulative. So, Adam and Eve were created, and they had no knowledge of good and evil. And so God created this garden before them, right? And created the tree that he didn't want them to eat from. And he created them, and he knows that they don't know the difference between good and evil. He knows that they're not really the most intelligent beings, and that they're susceptible to being tricked into doing things. He knows that they're even going to eat from the apple because he is omniscient. Well, I'm not sure if that's the right word, but he knows like everything that's going to happen. He sees the future and the past. So he puts the tree there, creates these human beings. He leaves, and these human beings are tempted by the snake, and they eat from the tree, and he punishes them aggressively for doing that. Like, bruh, he banished them from the garden and made them have to work for the rest of their lives, and for the rest of existence, like, Eve is gonna have painful childbirth. Like, that's a loving God. That's a God that loves us, that knows more than us and manipulates us in that sort of way. Like, what the heck? Imagine if I had a son, right? Or a kid, right? And this kid doesn't really know better, you know, fresh into the world, doesn't really know how the world works, right? And I have a cookie, and I put it in the kitchen, and I know that he doesn't really know, like, good from bad. He's not really the most intellectual. He's still a kid. And I tell him not to eat the cookie. I leave the house and leave him in the house by himself, and he gets tempted and eats the cookie. Instead of showing like compassion, understanding, showing like some kind of, you know, wisdom that you know like how naive this person is, you lash out and get angry that they made this decision and punish them intensely. It's the equivalent of me, like, kicking my son out of my house. He ate this cookie that I told him not to eat, so I'm kicking him out of my house. And now, as a little kid, he has to fend for himself and figure it out on his own. That's, like, incredibly manipulative. That's crazy. Like, I don't know. Make it make sense. Now, I totally understand, like, you know, this dude did make some good points. Like, God gave us life. He has the right to take it away. But you're saying that God has good character, God is good in nature. What's your basis for that? You say that he's morally correct? Not only did he flood the world to get rid of sin, he's sent plagues. Well, first off, he was going to come and die for us anyway. So why did he kill people because of sin? He knew he was going to save us anyway. Does God play favorites? Like, he kills some, and they have to face judgment, and then the rest of us are given a second chance at redemption and are saved through Jesus Christ. Also, I'm just going to say, this is not even my thoughts. These are thoughts I heard from other people, other atheists, but I thought they were really good points. But, like, was it even really a sacrifice? God sacrificed himself to himself, and it's not like he had to do it. He makes the rules. He's God. Like, why did he have to die? Also, aren't there Hold on. Also, doesn't God not like sacrifices? And then he sacrifices? Also, I'm probably getting like scatterplot with my points here, but back to like God is a good God. Are you talking about the God that makes bets with Satan and uses us as pawns for his own personal games like he did for Job? Like, that's the God that loves us and is a good God and morally superior? You're talking about the God that's described as a jealous God, even though one of the several sins he tells human beings not to partake in is envy, and he's jealous and envy. And I mean, we could keep going. I mean, God does a bunch of crazy stuff in the Bible. Like, it just gets out of hand. And then you also said to prove that the Bible is a mythical book. The Bible where God flooded the world for 40 days and 40 nights, and Noah built a big boat to carry 2 of every animal for 40 days and 40 nights. Also, with the food that they have to eat. Also, those animals are going to poop. Also, those animals might get hungry and eat each other. And also, how do you get 2 of every animal on that boat? You're talking about the Bible where men threw their canes down and those canes turned into snakes? That's the Bible that's not mythical? Or the same Bible where someone split the Red Sea and like flooded a bunch of Egyptians? Like, that's not mythical. Or the fact that your God became Jesus, died and resurrected, and we have no way to verify that he actually resurrected. I always hear this number, like it's like the 500 number, 500 people saw him after he resurrected, but no one can ever really verify that. That's just a number that Christians tend to grab out of the air. And you said that like all historians like agree on the events that happened in the Bible. That is fallacious. Like, we know that not all historians agree with what happened in the Bible. A lot of it's very hard to prove or provide evidence for. That's why we're still having these conversations today. That's why we can't come to a consensus. If it was so obvious that Christianity was real, which it's not, which is also something that, makes me very curious, like, why is the world so torn on Christianity? It's not obvious that these things actually happened, and historians can verify these things, because even in Christianity, you guys can't agree on, like, what to believe in and what not to believe in. There's so many different denominations that have completely different ways of doing things that deny and agree on the events that happened in the Bible. Some people don't even believe that Jesus was God, and some people don't even believe in the Trinity. The Catholic Church does it one way, then you have the Eastern Orthodox churches, and then you have the Protestants, which they have all their different forms of Protestantism and all that stuff. I'm not the best debater. I'm not representing atheists. I have a lot to learn when it comes to atheism, and I have a lot to learn when it comes to Christianity. But this guy was kind of just like rude, and a lot of his points are kind of easily arguable against, if that makes sense. I really need to work on my English. But I don't know. That's all I have to say. That was very mean how you ended that clip with that girl. Like, dang. Also, yeah, if someone had to make the choice between God and Satan, and look, I'm not a fan of Satan. I'm not messing with, ghosts, spirits, Satan, and I don't believe in God. But let's see, a God who's a jealous God, who wants you to worship him all the time, who doesn't really care about your life because he'll make wages with Satan and put you through all sorts of torture. A God that's never really been here in my life for a single day, versus being with Satan, who advocated for you to go eat from the tree of knowledge so you can know more, so you can reason better, so you can have knowledge. And also, didn't God lie about the tree of knowledge and tell Adam and Eve that they were going to die if they ate from the fruit? He lied as well. I don't know. You make the choice. God or Satan.